That's you.
In the
Oh,
van.
in the van. We're in the van. What are you eating? That's that. Oh, what's that you got in your hand? That big vegetable. What's that called? Hmm. We're just at a little car park outside Glastonbury. Um,
It's what?
Morning,
It's
William.
what?
Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in or coming by or whatever. Thanks to anyone for following us, and a huge thanks to the two guys who dropped us some money in the last 24 hours. That's given us opportunity to get some provisions and a bit of fuel in the van. My mobile phone has stopped charging as of yesterday, and so we are down to one phone at the moment. This is Andrew's phone, so it'd be very restricted for the temporary. Well, it'll be restricted for a while. I don't know. We'll see what we work out about the phone, but I can't explain. It's not even that old. My sister-in-law gave it to me before I went on a Globe Light tour last year, because my phone was so smashed up. So this phone really is 6 months, less than 6 months old, and it has been a bit of a lifeline. But maybe I saw it as a sign from the universe that it's time for me to be a little bit quiet, a little bit introspective and meditative. I'm just doing a quick live, honey.
Okay.
Andrew just went to the shop to get some provisions. She says it's like Zombieville.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it. The little time that we've been around town and stuff. People washing their hands, rubbing their hands furiously. I passed some coins to a lady at the chip shop last night for dinner, and she washed her hands immediately with an alcohol wash. So I'm sure you're seeing all of this. It seems, a storm has been whipped up to cause this coming frenzy, or this frenzy that's growing.
But I do think we have a choice. You have to choose now, frenzy or calm.
Frenzy or calm, that's
Frenzy
the
or
choice from my wife's wife.
Go to who you trust, and that's yourself.
Yeah, but also take counsel from those around you, you know.
Yeah, community.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's craziness, but there's also people talking to each other.
People
are talking to each other, which normally in the shop, you know, we all just kind of don't talk. So there's, you know, you have to see the weaving of the good in between.
Yeah,
the frenzy
and the opportunity to be somebody in your neighborhood that is a calm beacon in the coming storm. You know, we allow for the possibility that this storm blows over in a matter of days or weeks, and in that case, most folk will just, you know, jump over the hump and go, okay, well, we'll just carry on jogging along as we were. So that's, you know, that's got to be on the table. But we also have to be prepared, really, more than ever, for the likelihood that, you know, this is part of a stepping stone towards something.
No, I'm pretty sure it's. I don't even think it's. We don't ever go back to what we consider to be normal.
Oh no, that kind of normal went away, just like it did with 9/11.
Yeah, it's
this is 9/11.
Yeah, we're shifting,
maybe
and everybody needs to
a little bit more.
take what they've learned and use it now.
Yeah. So we're on the road to Lincoln. Thanks again to, the names have escaped me and I should have written them down.
Well, it was Dave and.
Oh, Dave Trev, thanks, buddy.
And
Thank you very much. And sorry I haven't replied to your emails, guys, because I have no phone, and my time has been very much consumed with either, talking to Andrea, Jack, and Lisa when they were on the van with us. Taking care of Alexander's needs, and taking care of my own needs, and trying to have some quiet time.
And other children.
And the other children, Jessica and Luke's needs, because they're obviously also being displaced or affected by the pandemic of change.
But there's a spiritual awakening going at the same time as all this craziness. So you got to tap out of the
spiritual awakening.
the screen.
You're right.
You've got to tap out of the screen and this is, when we talk about going inward, go inward, when they say self-isolation, take those words away. Those are scary words. Think this is time for me to go to that place of calm, if anything else. But I feel it. I'm feeling it very strongly that there's two paths here, and it's the scary one of the matrix, or there's that spiritual one, and hopefully you can find that for yourself in whatever way that is for you.
So I summarize it like, don't be standing in the storm shouting to people that the storm is coming. It's blowing, the wind is blowing so hard. If people haven't noticed, then so it's more about at the moment getting yourself secured so that you can do that quiet time, not be fighting. You've got to batten down the hatches, let the storm blow over, and then we'll know what it is we're meant to be doing to assist our brothers and sisters in moving forward with the information we have.
I saw Malcolm Melvin is on there, and he said at some time in the past he said this is going to be a year for networking, and I think it's so true. This is when you're going to know your community, and we've got to be there for each other. So I think that's an important thing. And Dave and I'm glad you're doing it, because we had said yesterday, we just wanted to send a message out, firstly to say thank you again for your support.
And Jonathan Taylor,
Jonathan Taylor, that's who it is. We feel your support, but also to know that we're here for you too. So contact us. Obviously it's kind of tough for Dave, but he can use my phone to
until I get a phone sorted, we'll have to be on limited comms, but we've still got SatNav.
He's still got my phone, which he can access his email or his YouTube on.
Zizi can still get his Wi-Fi hotspot, so he can do his ABC practices.
If you want to reach out to us for whatever reason, just even to say hi, or
I feel more and more like I need to be saying more, talking more often, and listening to what you guys I'm getting some great information from people, some great ideas, although admittedly, as I said, my life is pretty on the move at the moment, so it's not easy to sort of spend acres of time doing research. It's more about feeling, hearing bits of information now and feeling what it is that we should be doing. And
that's absolutely, it's less of the thinking. Well, obviously you've got to use the left and right, but feel your way through this, and you got to trust yourself to know you'll know what the right thing is. I certainly feel like this is what this has been leading us to, is having that inner knowing, and that discernment and that trust, and
at the moment I see Tapper there. Hi Ricardo. I'm keen to, I don't know, about doing street activism. I don't know how we're going to be doing it, and what message we're going to be taking, and what the approach is going to be. I just feel like we're entering a new world now, and we need to be agile enough to think that what we did last year may not be the right message this year. I'm not saying I know what that message is. I'm still looking for guidance as to exactly how to craft a message and how to.
I think right now the message should be high vibration, right? You got to stay in the high vibe and not in the low vibe. That's got to be the message right now.
But but also if we're going to do something to inject a change in the paradigm, because that's what we think we're meant to be doing, is making some kind of remarkable, significant change in the paradigm. Otherwise, we weren't meant to. Why were we given this information? Why were we put on this journey, this path, to being able to see through things like coronavirus and all the other sort of scares and challenges that are coming, so now might be the time to be clean and
Tap
low.
wants to know what your opinion on Q and Trump is.
Well, at no time in the last year, or maybe longer, to be honest, have I felt like the system is ever going to offer the solution. The system is so designed to always provide this centralized command structure, which ultimately always leaves you with a controlling interest, and until people, and so for me, the idea that an outsider is going to, let's just say it was you, Tapper, that you're a complete outsider, you're completely talking outside of the shop. How far, when you go to the local Conservative Party or Labour Party meeting, how far do you think you're going to get when you start talking flat earth? You may not even be invited back to the next local meeting, let alone becoming the head of that local club and then going on to be the head of all of the clubs. No way, you're going to have been signed off and so on. And the same is true with Trump. And in the case of Q, well, Q, if you really think about it, is like meant to be some kind of deep state operative that only like clever researchers on the internet know about, but the CIA and the FBI and so on, well, they don't know about Q. They have they can shut down Assange and they can do all these sorts of things, but they can't shut down Q. It just same with Assange, in fact. He just manages to leak over years, drip by drip by drip, bits of information, when at the end of the day, if you and I had the truth in a book, we would publish the whole book today. And we give it for free to everybody, so that there would be no meddling with it. There would be no central control over it. But Assange is controlled. Q is controlled as a rabbit hole. I'm not saying that Q doesn't deliver things, because like Ike or any other partial truth speaker, you need to be able to offer good stuff. You need to be able to give people juice, and then let them kind of squabble over the details of it. Because even within Q, I bet, I don't spend any time on Q, but even within Q, I bet there are factions within Q who say, I interpret what Q said this way, and it's wasting good people's good research energy, or rather, it's just offering people like another externalization of the self. I'm going to look to Q to provide the answers to what's happening. Look, I think, seeing what Q is talking about and knowing what's going on in the political punches, I think is useful, because if we're going to counter it, if we're going to have a message to people that is cute and it recognizes what people think, where people's minds are, because actually we're trying to address the spellcraft that is going on with Q, Trump, Brexit, Corona. All these things are designed to keep people in a spell, and what we got to be able to do is break that spell. But we're not going to break it while we believe that some of the spell makers are actually on our side. They're not. If
So Mark and Melvin's written, Trump has just enacted the defense. Sorry, let me just move. Trump just enacted the Defense Production Act, forcing all citizens to work for the government.
Hold the camera. I'll do the work.
That's right. That's right.
Forcing all the citizens to
work for the government.
Forcing all citizens to work for the government. Did you say that?
Well, I'm just telling you what Mark wrote. Look, he wrote here. He wrote, Trump just enacted the Defense Production Act, forcing all citizens to work for the government. I wanted to just add something. I think that some of the things that are happening are also, there are signs and symbols within the stuff that's happening, and it comes down to discernment of knowing what those mean. I think there's a few people will have said in the past that, you know, there's always some truth in it, and it's about you being able to use your honed discernment, hopefully through what you gained over the last 5 years, 2 years, however long you've been looking at all this stuff, to know the difference. And oh my gosh, it comes back to Dave saying about probably 5 years ago now, there's going to come a time you're going to have to know the difference. You're going to have the discernment to know the difference. I think now's the time.
I would say to you, if you, Tapper, or anyone else who's still kind of, and I'm not suggesting this is you, but if you're still kind of thinking that the solution, the state is going to alter itself, look, I think part of the plan, part of the ploy is to incite the people such that they do demand a replacement to this current system. And if there's a replacement demanded, you can be sure that the existing game owners have got the solution waiting. Okay, so it might be like the Tommy Robinson type, you know, people who've been sort of talking against the system as it is, who would be fated as the new kind of heroes of the anti-system that would be implemented post, you know, this, what would be essentially a part of this sort of new world order or new world government. So the system's only ever going to produce ways of extending or altering its skin so that we continue, or the people in the mass continue.
Well, it has to, because we are going through cosmic changes, and it has to change. So yeah, it's just what it has planned. You know, none of us.
You know, there's a guy I respect, who I was following for quite a time before I set up my channel. His name's Rich. It's called Mr. Thrive and Survive. And back in 2016, I think he was all Q loved up. And by 2017, I was already like, nah, this is Q's not right. But he was clinging on for dear life. And then he kept setting these deadlines that said, oh, hey, if they do this by this date, then it's legit. If they don't, then I'm walking away. And I think twice, if I'm not wrong, he sort of walked away and then fell back and hooked to it, because I think Q is a clever game that's designed for clever people to keep them engaged in external stuff. And not only that is that not realizing that we are the power. And not only that, I don't mean like we the people as in just, you know, little man, me, Dave Mantle walking around. I mean that, you know, our higher selves are giants, are great, and they need to be fully empowered. And we don't empower them fully when we seek the external Christ, the external Savior. Yeah. That might upset some of the guys that are really hanging on to a religion of some sort, but really it's all within you. So, you know, while you're holding on for Trump and reading the Q reports, hoping that the Q card's going to go in your, you know, and something, you know, what's the juice, what's going down next, what's the next twist in the plot? Well, you're playing their game. You're down on the floor, caught up in the World Wide Web, playing the game that the system wants you to play, I'm afraid. It's good to know what's going on. I'm not saying to become a completely, you know, hermetized and shut off from the
because
world.
I think there's messages there too. I think there's definitely messages, you know, and it's about deciphering them. But there's, you know, I'm definitely feeling it. So I think if you can go to your intuition and your feeling and your heart and, you know, all those kind of things, then you'll be able to trust that. And if it feels right, then that's what you got to go with. Anyway, we need to get on. We need to go on the go.
Yeah, we're going all the way to Lincoln, so it's quite a long drive. But I put 33 pounds and 33 pence of diesel in, so we're good to go. We reckon we got enough now to get us there. Thanks again, guys, for that those contributions. We really do appreciate it. For sure, we've played our hand here. You know, our deck is, our hands are our cards are on the table, and we know we've been called to this
It's ball.
for a very special reason.
Can I
and
just read it?
so you want to know that, just drag on the side here.
Okay.
We want you to know that we intend, listening to our hearts and doing what we need to do that we love the human story. We love humanity. We love God. We love this creation, this creator of this creation. We love it. And we know that we want to be part of helping it heal. But it needs to come from within. Look at the man in the mirror.
Okay, so can I just
Please do.
there is
Jack's dreaming high.
just
I like
says,
that
I totally
squirrel.
agree, keep the truthers compliant, but and Mark said it's about the people begging for the magic money to do what they say. I totally agree, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, we foresee obviously the potential for significant food shortages to come. If this lasts more than a week, 2 weeks, then we're really into some interesting territory like that for that.
And Mark in Melbourne finally says, "Love will prevail," and I think that's a
Yes,
beautiful
brother.
place. That's a beautiful place to end, because actually, yes, love will prevail.
Yeah,
I mean,
fear not.
Yeah.
Fear not.
Yeah.
Pick up that Koki from the.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we really
guys,
must
we're gonna go.
Yeah,
Thanks for
take
stopping
care.
by.
Take care. Take care.
Much love. Stay well. And again, if you can, we've changed our PayPal account to Trinity's the, and that's Trinity's IES, Trinity's the at gmail.com. So if you can help us out. Otherwise, it's lovely to have you anyway, and I appreciate all the support, all the comments, all the feedback. We're in this together. We are one, and
Get in touch if they want to.
it's coming down to the wire for the human story, and you're part of it. We're part of it. Crazy as that may seem, but yeah, it's like a movie at the moment. Our lives are like a crazy movie. Anyway, it's great to have you with me. Oh, and I just want to say thanks again to Jack and Lisa. That was great spending 2 days with you, and we'll definitely be hooking up with them again. There's a reason we know each other. One love. Cheers.